good morning. Welcome to the second interactive video that I'm doing, which is going to be on the beginning of 9vibes. A lot of people have been asking me if I can break this down for them, if I can go through the slides the way that I did the playground. So here we go. All right, 9vibes. If you knew the significance of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the keys to the universe. This is the foundation of 9vibes, okay? Nikola Tesla said it. He said a lot of other quotes that align with vibration, frequency, and energy. But this is the one that really is the foundation of 9vibes. All right, so we're going to start with something that is called vortex math. Vortex math essentially is a repeated pattern of numbers that creates a vortex, as you can see right here, which is the deepest structure in the universe. And it is the key to understanding all of math, all of physics, all of metaphysics, and all of medicine. So how does it work? Well, every single math pattern, from binary to the Fibonacci, it's a sequence. It follows a pattern. And so does vortex math. And so the pattern that you're looking for is going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And then it's going to go 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. It's just going to keep repeating itself over and over and over. All right, I'm going to show you what that looks like. By using basic doubling, so 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 4 times 2, you're going to see the pattern emerge by doing something that is called casting nines. And casting nines is very simple, although it sounds complex. Anytime that you have an answer or a result or an outcome that is more than 1 digit, so we'll take the number 16, all you do is take the remaining digits and add them together until you finally get to the place where you have 1 digit. Okay, it's called a digital root. It's basically just adding all of the numbers that come before until you have 1 digit. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we'll go 1 times 2 is 2. So you start with 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Well, there's your 2. 2 times 2 is 4. There's your 4. 4 times 2 is 8. There's your 8. 8 times 2, though, is 16. And that's normally at the place where someone will be like, well, that can't be 7. It doesn't fall into the pattern. But the truth is that when you deal with digital roots, you add the remaining digits. So if you have more than 1, you just need to add it together. So 1 plus 6 is 7. Well, there's my 7. 16 times 2 is 32. 3 plus 2 is 5. So there's my 5. So you never stop adding at the end of your result until you have 1 singular digit. Okay? That's how you cast nines. That's how you find a digital root. It's just keep adding. So 32 times 2 is 64, and 6 plus 4 is 10. Again, we still have 2 digits, so we got to add them one more time. 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay? And as you can see, there's your pattern. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. Now, I'm pretty sure at this point you're saying, okay, who cares? It's, simple multiplication. So let's go to the next. It is going to continue forever. 64 times 2 is 128. 1 plus 2 plus 8 equals 11. And 1 plus 1 equals 2. There's your 2. So the next one I know for a fact is going to be 4. Well, 128 times 2 is 256. 2 plus 5 plus 6 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Next one's going to be 8. 256 times 2 is 512. 5 plus 1 plus 2 equals 8. And 512 times 2 is 1024. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 7. So it's going to keep going forever. 1024 times 2 is going to be 2048. And when you add it, you end up with 5. 2048 times 2 is 4096. And when you add it, you get 1. So the pattern that will continuously repeat when you are multiplying by 2s is going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. When you're doubling, that's what you're going to see. Okay? But it doesn't just apply to doubling, and it doesn't just apply to 2s. It actually applies to 3s as well. I'll do a video later where if you apply the Aurora Borealis, which is where the snake that ends up going full circle to eating its own tail, which is A plus B, B plus C, and C plus A equal the result, you end up with 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 as well. All right? Now, taking 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and 1 and putting it on this system right here that you can see starting with 9, because 9 is the most important of this system. You have a circle that has 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? And when you take that 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, or that 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and you apply it to this, you see something that is really awesome. So let's do it. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 7, 7 to 5, 5 to 1. All right. This is a very powerful symbol. All right. It is, Tesla talked about it being an energy symbol. So it never stops. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. It is a pattern that is going to repeat forever by itself. And when you understand how your heart works, when you understand how compassion works, when you understand how kindness works, you'll learn that this is actually inside of you. And this symbol right here is the thing that self-sustains your own energy. Okay? But we'll talk about that later. Right now, I'm just going over the basics of 9 vibes. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 creates an energy pattern. All right? Now, what's really cool about this, too, is that inside of this energy pattern, if you were to take if you take a positive and a negative and you were to have them move at the same time, they would strike at this point right here and reverse each other. So they would affect each other. So one would become negative and one would become positive, one would become positive and one would become negative. But it is self-sustaining. It will never stop. Okay? And that is very important and also very awesome about this. All right? This is vortex math. It is the pattern that self-sustains and continues moving by itself. All right. Now, I said that you could double it. I said that you could also use the aurora borealis, or you can also reverse it. All right. Half of 1 is 0.5. Well, there's your 5. Half of 5 is 2.5. 2 plus 7, 2 plus 5 equals 7. There's your 7. Half of 7 is 3.5, and 3 plus 5 equals 8. Half of 8 is 4, half of 4 is 2, half of 2 is 1. There it is again. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. And it's reversed, so it's going to start from the bottom. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. And it will continue going as well forever. You can make them as small as you want. You can make them as large as you want when you're doubling. It will always end up being 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. Okay? All right. So every single number on that circle also equals 9. There are also 3 hidden triangles that can be found. All right, so let's look at the equaling to 9. Well, you've got 1 plus 8. Okay, so 1 across from it, 8 equals 9. 7 and 2. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 6 and 3. 6 and 3 equal 9. And 5 and 4. 5 plus 4 equal 9. This circle is the perfection of the number 9. All right? Well, let's look at the triangles that are hidden inside of it. The first triangle is 1, 4, 7, and it is 1, 4, and 7. There's your first one. Your second triangle is going to be 2, 5, and 8. That is going to be 2, 5, and 8. That's your second one. And your third triangle is going to be 3, 6, and 9. So 3, 6, and 9. And that's your third one. Okay, and what is so awesome about that is when you add 1, 4, and 7 using the math we're talking about, you end up with the number 12. Well, 1 plus 2 equals 3. When you add 2, 5, and 8, you end up with 15. And 1 plus 5 is 6. And when you add up 3, 6, and 9, you end up with 18. And 1 plus 8 is 9. The most amazing thing about this is that these are not only really awesome triangles to look at, this is the foundation of music. These are frequencies. 741 is a frequency. 2, 5, and 8 is a frequency. It is not only a frequency that we're talking about, it's a frequency that science uses to put into the ocean to send a vibration that cleans it of oil. I can show you videos where they've actually shown this. These are powerful frequencies. And so you can find them by just using vortex math. You can also find them in other ways that I have posted on my page, but this is just the basics of vortex math. And so inside of the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 circle, you also find the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern, which also reveals the 3 triangles of 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, and 3, 6, and 9. I mean, that is awesome. I don't know how to explain that any better at this point. That is absolutely awesome. And that is just the start of all of this. All right. So Tesla asked himself, I wonder what happens if you start messing with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. A lot of his books, a lot of his research is based off of the numbers 3, 6, and 9. So I'm going to show you exactly what happens. Something strange happens when you start messing with the 3, 6, and 9 that changes the vortex math pattern. When you double. When you're doubling by 3, 6, and 9, you'll see that 3 times 2 is 6. But 6 times 2 is 12. And 1 plus 2 equals 3. So right away, we notice that we broke the vortex math pattern by doubling with a different number. So 3, 6, and 9 stand out as the pattern, as the pattern breaker of vortex math. Okay? And that's important because full circle is vortex math is the physical pattern of our universe. 3, 6, and 9 is the metaphysical patterns. Okay? So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. They're reversed of each other. 9 times 2 is 18, which 1 plus 8 equals 9. So what you learn from this is that 3 and 6 will always equal each other, but 9 will always equal itself. All right? Okay. Also within the 3, 6, and 9, when you're dealing with adding or multiplying, you get a swing between the two. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 8 is 3. 8 plus 7 is 15, which is 6. 7 plus 5 is 12, which is 3. They're constantly swinging back and forth with each other. There's something very balanced and also creative about 3, 6, and 9. It just keeps going back and forth. All right, so now that we know the importance of 9, let's see how it applies to music. So I'm going to go ahead and pause right here, and we're now going to apply this information to music. And I think a lot of people will find this interesting because vortex math, 3, 6, and 9, it all flows perfectly into the harmonics of music. Or of music. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. In the next slide, we're talking about music in 3, 6, and 9. In the next slide, you will see the frequency that we are currently using right now is 440 hertz. The sum of each frequency in 440 hertz descends by 1 by the harmonics, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. But when you actually compare 432 hertz, the sum of each frequency is going to equal 9 in perfect harmony. All right, so let's look at what that looks like. Right now, we are currently using 440 hertz. And as you can see, you have the root, I have the overtone, I have the harmonics, and then I have the root in the first, second, third, fourth, and it keeps going down. All right, so the very first thing that you can see, once I move myself out of the way here, the very first thing that you can see is going to be 88, 132, 176. And so I did the digital root of these so that you can see 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it goes back to 9. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So it is constantly going down. All right. And so I found that very interesting because when you apply 432 hertz, you will see the perfection in the harmonics. So you have, again, the overtones, the harmonics, the first, the second, and you will see 72, 108, 144, 180, and every single one of these aligns with 9. It is perfect pitch. It is perfect harmony. All right. And I had somebody who came to me and said, well, that makes sense because music flows. It goes up and it goes down. And it does. You are absolutely correct. The problem that I have with 440 hertz, other than the next few slides I'm going to show you, is that it's going down. If you wanted to have a flow of music, why wasn't it going up? All right. When it goes down, you get lower and lower in frequency. You get lower and lower in bass, in vibration. But if you were to go up, it would get more perfect. Okay? All right, 432 hertz was used as the tuning frequency until World War II. After World War II, America signed a patent to use 440 hertz to tune instruments and music. All right. Now, I wonder why they changed it. Here's the reason. You should know that 444 hertz has been known to cause headaches, migraines, sensitivity to light, stomach aches, and uncommon bowel movements. And this was known because in World War II, they tested it on subjects. They tested it on soldiers, and they tested it in the camps. And so 444 hertz, although just slightly enough to cause chaos within your body, isn't noticeable when you're listening to 432 hertz versus 440 hertz. The average ear can't tell the difference, but your body can. All right. And so that was a very important part when it comes to music, is that you're not actually aligned. But when you look at 432 hertz, you will see that 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals 9. And there's your 9 again. All right. So that is just the basics of talking about why music matters in terms of shifting just slightly. Everything about 9vibes is not about relearning everything that you ever learned. I feel like that would be a waste of time. Everything about 9vibes is about shifting. You shift your mind 90 degrees, just change your direction just 90 degrees and go up the wall instead of going down the wall. That's what I'm trying to say. If you shift just slightly, everything starts to align. And ironically, when you start to see that everything aligns, you start to realize that you were the one that was living out of sync. Nature and the sun and the moon and light and water and all of these things I'm going to show you align with 9. We are the only thing that is not living aligned with 9. All right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to go over is going to be the precession of the equinox and the alignment with 9. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Now that you understand the math part of this big picture, let's talk about science. Let's talk a little bit about something called the precession of the equinox. To understand what the precession of the equinox is, you first have to know that the Earth not only rotates around the sun, but it also has a wobble. According to NASA, the Earth shifts 23.5 degrees every cycle. Each cycle is one astrological house. A full complete cycle of the precession of the equinox is 25,920 years. This is called one great year. Okay, you can look up the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. This is something that is also in the 64 tetrahedron, because when you add all the triangles and the degrees in a 64 tetrahedron, you end up with 25,920 degrees. Okay, I couldn't make this stuff up if I wanted to. They understood this information. They understood the power of this number. They understood the importance of this number. All right, I just had a problem with what NASA was saying, because when I added up the numbers, nothing equaled to 9. And I'm going to show you that. 23.5, 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. Well, that's not a 9. 23.5 times 12, we got 12 months, or 12 zodiac signs. Ends up being 282. Well, that's a 3. That's not a 9. 25,920 divided by the number that they're saying, which is 282, equals 91.91489361722128. And I did the math for you, and that's an 8. And that doesn't equal to 9. And 25,920 divided by 23.5, which is what they were saying, ends up being 1,102.978723404255. I did the math, and that's a 6. None of these things equal to 9. All right? However, if you shift just slightly, instead of 23.5 to 22.5, everything ends up making sense. 22.5 times 12 is 270. 2 plus 7 equals 9. That's one cycle. 8 cycles equals 2160. 2 plus 1 plus 6 equals 9. All right, 2160 times 12 zodiac houses is 25,920. Everything ends up aligning. Now you have cultures that are saying that 25,920 is one great year, that this matters. You have the Chinese and the I Chi culture that talks about the 64 tetrahedron and how when you cast when you cast a light through a 64 tetrahedron, it gives you a 2D pattern of the flower of life, which is 25,920. All of these things are connected. All right. And if you go off of the system we have right now, you can never find that connection. It's impossible. But when you shift just slightly, everything equals to 9 and everything fits perfectly. All right. Every 2160 years or 2160 years is one zodiac sign. It's one zodiac house. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Each one of these is 2160 years. And when you multiply that times 12, you end up with 25,920. All right. So what else in nature equals 9, aligns with 9? Well, let's go out into space. The diameter of the Earth is 7,920 miles. 7 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 equals 18. And 1 plus 8 equals 9. The diameter of the moon is 2,160 miles. Now, I was just talking about the 2,160 when I was talking about the precession of the equinox, when I was talking about the zodiac signs. Science itself has said the closest measurement we have to the diameter of the moon is 2,160 miles. Starting to align. The diameter of the sun is 864,000 miles, which means that the radius of the sun is going to be 432,000 miles. Now, why does that matter? Well, that matters because 432 times 432 is 186,624. And 186,624 is the speed of light. Okay? Everything is aligned, including you and your body. Nines in your body also align, because did you know that 18 breaths a minute is a healthy breathing rate? They tell you that between 12 and 20 is healthy. So let's shift. Let's go to 18. Well, if you just have 18 breaths times 60 minutes, you will have 1,080 breaths. 1,080 breaths times 24 hours is 25,920 breaths a day. If we could adjust our clocks or adjust our watches, our iWatches, or our Android watches to 25,920 to be what we should be doing, you would notice very, very quickly whether or not you were stressed, because I assume that that would make your breathing increase, or whether you were depressed. Maybe that would lower your breathing, and so you would notice that quicker instead of in the moment that you're in panic or the moment that you're in depression. All right? Same thing goes with your heartbeat. All right? The average heart rate is between 60 and 100. Let's work that out. If you take, let's go with the 369. Let's say that 60 beats is a healthy heartbeat. All right? So 60 times 60 is 3,600 beats an hour. There's our 9. 3,600 beats times 24 is 86,400 beats a day. Well, first off, we've already seen this 86.4 when we were looking at the sun. The diameter of the sun is 864,000 miles. And so there's the same exact numbers. But more importantly, it's the exact same amount of seconds that you have in a day. Your heartbeat should be beating at the exact same amount of seconds that are in a day. And so if your heartbeat is increasing, it's because you're stressed. It's because you're scared. It's because something is not aligned. And if your heartbeat is decreasing, it's probably because something is wrong. Something is lowering that number. And so we might notice these things if we were actually aligned more with our bodies, with biology, and with nines. All right. Finally, the last thing that we're going to go into is going to be why all this matters, how this aligns to the calendar that I am constantly talking about. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So by shifting things just slightly, we can see that everything harmonically aligns, from music to space. So I thought to myself, as I was looking at all this information, what if we weren't supposed to have 7 days a week? What if we were supposed to have 9? And when I did that, I noticed that every single month then would have the exact same amount of days. They'd have 36. And 36 times 12 months, because you'd end up with 9 days, 4 weeks, is 36 days a month. 36 times 12 is 432. And when I noticed that, I noticed instantly, okay, even if I don't understand all of this, this is how I should be living. This aligns more with anything I had ever seen before. But it gets even better, because then that means that every single day is the same no matter what. You don't have a leap year. You don't need different days for the month. There's no 27, 28, 31, or 30. Every single month is the exact same from 1 to 36. All right. It also means that 3, 6, and 9 will be the same for every single month. It'll be the same for everybody for every single month. So when it is a 3, you will know. When it is a 12, it is a 3. When it is a 21, it is 3. And when it is a 30, it is a 3. When it is a 6, a 15, a 24, or a 33, you're at a 6. And when it's a 9, 18, 27, and 36, you're at a 9. So you would know this every single month. It would help you get more aligned with nature, with music, with the frequency. Everything would be easier to see. All right. If 3, 6, and 9 really are nature's numbers and divine creation, it is possible. I'm not saying it is a fact. I am saying it is possible that you are more aligned with nature, you are more aligned with space, you are more aligned with the universe on these days. All right. With our current calendar, it is almost impossible to know which days are 3, 6, and 9 days. The easier it is to recognize the harmonics of 3, 6, and 9 days, the easier it'll be for us to walk in harmony together. But the system that we have right now, we have no idea when it is a 3, 6, or 9. If the disconnected world that we live in right now is a product of our thoughts, just imagine what it would look like if we actually started aligning our thoughts and started connecting with the universe and with nature and with each other. All right, with all the knowledge that we have, now what we can do is we can solve for why I am telling you that I believe that the frequency of the universe is 432 hertz. All right, here we go. The formula for frequency is frequency equals value over time. All right, if you're looking for the frequency of something, you are looking for how long something vibrates or changes within time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take frequency equals 25,920. So we'll take the precession of the equinox and we will divide that by 60. And when you do that, you end up with 432. 25,920 divided by 60 seconds is 432. And to find frequency within the seconds, you look for the patterns that repeat per second. 432 hertz is the hertz of nature. It is the hertz of the universe, and it is the hertz that we should be living on. All right? That is the frequency, 432 hertz. And ironically, if you go back to the 3 triangles that I was talking about, you have the 1, 4, and 7. You have the 2, 5, and 8. And you have the 3, 6, and 9. And if you take 1 from each one of those, if you take the 4, if you take the 2, and if you take 3, you end up with 432 hertz. So combining them together and taking 1 from each gives you the frequency of nature. And that is really cool. All right. So if you still aren't sure, all right, so we're going to go ahead and pause here real quick because we're going to finish this whole thing up and put it all together if you stuck with it. If you still aren't sure that 3, 6, and 9 have significant importance in life, look at the golden ratio. All right. Those of you that don't know very much about me, I am a graphic design artist, an IT specialist, and a professional dog trainer. But I started in graphic design. And graphic design never taught me, out of all the college courses I took, out of everything that I went through, I never learned about the golden ratio until after I was finished. All right. The golden ratio is a special number found in dividing a line into 2 parts so that the longer part divided by the smaller part also equals the whole length divided by the whole part. All right. The golden ratio, you might have seen it, looks kind of like this. So you have A plus B divided by A equals AB. That is the golden ratio, 1.618, and it continues going on. All right. You can find this in many areas in nature. You can find it when you're looking at the cosmos, when you're looking at a sunflower, when you're looking at plants. It's in the nautical shell. It's in different types of plants. It's also in space and weather. You see that when a hurricane starts, you start to see the golden ratio. And I have done a video that I will drop below at the very end of this that will show you how it's not about the power in these things that allow it to do what it does. It's the shape that gives it power. All right. You can also find the golden ratio in famous structures all over the world. The 7 wonders of the world, you can align the golden ratio to. If you take Egypt, you can align the golden ratio to the pyramids as well as the Sphinx. You can go to Rome and you can see that they use the golden ratio. It is a very powerful tool. And when you learn about the Freemasons, when you see the symbol that they actually have on the front of their symbol, that is a tool that allows you to find the golden ratio in everything. So me and my niece, we ended up actually making one of these, and it was really awesome. It's very simple. You can do the measurements and then create one with paper, but you can go out there and you can measure how everything that has been created in nature aligns with the golden ratio. You can measure your own body and find out how your arm and your fingers and everything align with the golden ratio. It's really awesome. So if you're interested, I will post a link below that will allow you to make your own. All right. So as a logo design and graphic design artist, this is everywhere, and we just didn't know it. Twitter is aligned with the golden ratio, the logo. Apple is aligned with the golden ratio, as you can see here, the logo. McDonald's, all of them use the golden ratio because the key of the golden ratio is that it is more appealing to your eye than anything else. So designers and some of the most famous artists throughout history have always used the golden ratio because it is the most appealing to the eye. And that's what logo design is all about, becoming the first to be the most appealing to people. All right, so that is the golden ratio. And when I started studying the golden ratio after I got out of school and everything, I came across this image. And so when I added up these numbers, before I had found the solution, I told myself that if this ended up aligning with 9, I was going to follow through. I was going to go the next step it was going to take to put in the energy and the work to start to understand this. And so I started adding them up. And as you can see, I did all the math here. You can do it yourself if you want to. And when I got to the conclusion, not only did this equal to 9, this equaled to 369. This aligned with my quote at the very beginning with Tesla and the final place with the golden ratio. All right, what does all this mean? Everything is connected. Everything. All of it. We are the only ones who have not been living like this or understood this. All right, we just need to get on the right frequency. And that's what my calendar is about. It is about getting on the frequency of 432 days in a year. And I try to do the best I can to allow you to live exactly the same as the 12 months and the days, and I just overlap it to show you what day it would actually be if it was a 3, 6, or 9. All right, but it is about getting on the right frequency, 432. You can do this in multiple ways, which I'm going to show you how all this applies, but this is what this is about. All right, so 6 ways to use this knowledge. Try the 36-day calendar. It is great. It is awesome. It is easy to follow, and more importantly, we actually have applied chakras to this, so now it is a 9-day, 7-chakra calendar. It aligns with a color. It's easy to follow, and I will help anybody if they want. On 3, 6, and 9, consciously meditate and focus on emotional, physical, and spiritual healing. The 3rd day, I believe, is your sacral chakra. The 6th day is your 3rd eye, and the 9th is just 9-vibe day. It's where you get everything you want. You experience what you want. It's a really awesome day. You're aligned with the universe. You make your own dreams. You make your own reality. All right. Number 3, on the 21st of every month, that's the day that you're most aligned. So talk about it. Tell yourself, this is the day I'm going to change my life. This is the day that things are going to change for me, because it's the 21st day, and you don't have to wait 21 days. You just have to, on the 21st day, focus on that day. All right. Number 4, start listening to music at 432 hertz. There are many different things out there you can do to have a filter that allows you to hear 432 over 440. So look into that. It's a great way to enjoy your music, but not have the chaos that comes after. Number 5, find patterns of 3, 6, and 9. Tesla talked about this all the time. They thought that he was OCD. He wasn't OCD. He understood the power of these numbers, and so do companies, so do corporations. That's why something is $3.99. That's why something is $6.99. That's why something is $9.99, and it's the most appealing to you. It's because they understood some of the foundations of this information. All right? So find patterns of 3, 6, and 9 in your life and follow them. And then number 6, align your heartbeat and your breathing with the universe. I am working on trying to get with some people to make an app for your phone that will connect to your watch that has 25,920 as where you should be, and lets you know when you're off that, or when you're on that, or when you're low, or when you're high. I'm still working on that. This is a starting point, but we are working on getting that out there because that would help people start noticing themselves when something is wrong before you have to go to a doctor, before you have to go talk to somebody. You would notice yourself. All right. So that is what 9vibes is all about. This is the purpose and the reason that I do it is because I believe that whatever created all of this, I did not create vortex math. We discovered math. We did not create it. It has always been there. 3, 6, and 9 have always responded differently, and 1, 2, 8, 4, 7, 5 have always responded differently. We just discovered it. All right. So the idea is that whatever did create this doesn't kind of seem like the thing to me that makes mistakes, that carries things over, that has fractions. Seems like the kind of thing that would understand perfection, unity, and completeness. And so I don't want you to change your spiritual path. I don't want you to stop becoming a Christian. I don't want you to stop becoming Wiccan. I don't want you to change the fact that you love your crystals or you love your cards or you're into tarot. I don't want to change anything about that. I want you to realize that there's a frequency that you could be living at aligned with those things that would then align everything so that you don't fall out of the only thing in this reality, in this universe, that isn't living aligned with nines. All right. Keep your 9vibes alive. Thank you for watching.